Hello guys and welcome to another video. My name is Mark, I'm an entrepreneur property investor, and in today's video we're looking at the Halifax House Price Index for October 2023. So this month signals the first return to growth over the last 6 months for the UK house prices. And it's a significant return to growth, 1.1% up. That signals a big growth. In fact, it's one of the largest growths we've had over the last 12 months. So we are now erasing a significant proportion of the loss. We were down around about 4.3% last month on an annualized basis. It's now down 3.2% on an annualized basis. So we've erased quite a significant amount of the drop in house prices. And there's a few reasons for that, and I want to really talk about why I believe UK property currently is quite significantly undervalued and what I think is going to happen over the next, 12 to 24 months. I think there's going to be a real big growth in UK property, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm buying property at the moment. I really believe that there is a bright future. Because if you think about it in context of inflation, and you think, well, inflation's run at about, since pre-pandemic levels, when we were very low inflation, to now it's about 20% overall in terms of inflation. So money's worth about 20% less. Now, property has gone up over that period of time by about 15%, but there's definitely 5% more in it, and wage growth at the moment is very strong. In fact, if I do a quick Google for UK wage growth, 7.8%. Now that's against inflation. I know inflation is lower than wage growth. So wage growth 7.8, inflation 5.6, house prices 1.1. Now you put all that together and you start to build a picture of where the UK economy is. There's still very low unemployment. We're technically at very full employment, so there's a lot of jobs out there for people. Wage growth is going up significantly. The Conservatives are talking about bringing down tax. The Bank of England aren't raising interest rates as inflation has dropped a lot and continues to do so. I think we're about at this tipping point, this inflection point, where I think the house prices will return to growth. I think that there's probably 10 to 15% in it over the course of the next year. And I, at the beginning of this year, said that I felt that they would drop by about 5% and then start to go back up quite quickly. I feel like now might be the time that we start to see that happen. The US has an election year next year, and we have an election year coming up 2025. I think it's the 20-something of January 2025 when the next election for the UK is. So, or it has to be before that. So all in all, I think that the economy and certainly government always aim that when these sort of periods in time come round, that the economy is doing better and people are feeling better about their lives. And there's lots of levers they can pull in order to make that happen. And generally speaking, when the economy is doing well, house prices tend to go up. And I'm a strong believer in UK property. I think that we're still massively undersupplied. I think you might cut back on retail, you might cut back on takeaways, you're unlikely to cut back on living in a house. That is something that most people aspire to do. So UK property prices, I think, will continue to rise over the next 12 months. I'm going to put my neck out and say we'll have 10% in 2024, around 2025 in UK property prices. If you look from now until then, I think there'll be 10% rise. We'll make up the 5% and we'll extend by a further 5%. I think that'll be pretty safe to say. So that's my opinion of where I think we are. Let's have a look at what the Halifax though have been saying so that you get some other commentators. So one of the things that Halifax do talk about is the regions, and obviously the further up north, well not obviously, but just by fact, the further up north you go, the less house prices have dropped. In fact, Scotland only down 0.2% annually. The north of England, 1%, Northern Ireland, 0.5%. South of England has the biggest drop, south east being 6%. So you're really looking at this north-south divide, and it's all around affordability really, isn't it? At the end of the day, up north, property prices are cheaper. Mortgage rates go up, it doesn't affect it quite so much. Mortgage rates come down, doesn't affect it quite so much. Whereas down south, you've got a 500 grand 3-bedroom house, which is an average family home in the southeast of England. Suddenly, an extra 5% on the mortgage rates on a 400 grand mortgage. That's a significant amount of money extra every single month. So that's why South of England's been affected far greater. HMRC have come back and said that UK home sales have decreased slightly, but only very slightly. I mean, it's like for like, 0.6% difference. Bank of England, mortgages approved to finance has decreased slightly, 4.7%. And RICS say that we are continuing to show a challenging market. New buyer inquiries have returned a net balance of minus 39%, up slightly from minus 46%, which basically means there are more buyers returning to the market than there were. So if you looked at 0 being a normal level, minus 46% was last month, now it's minus 39%, so buyers are returning to the market and starting to buy. I'm included in that. I'm included in the people that are looking at it and going, this might be the best opportunity we have. There are still some great negotiations to be had in terms of price. There are still lots of properties around which I think work on paper. When I've been looking at it, I can get about 10% on a ROI, cash on cash basis on a single let in the areas that I invest in. Guys, sorry to interrupt this video, but I wanted to give you this information and I promise it'll be no more than 15 seconds. If you want to have a free one-to-one consultation with me, a quick chat about anything at all you need to do is click the link in the description. It will give you a quick form, fill out your details, Tom will get in contact and book it into my calendar with me, then we can have a free consultation. I'm doing this for anybody who wants to talk to me until I get to 10,000 subscribers. So guys, let's get back to the video, but fill in the form, have a chat. I think that there is still a really, really good opportunity over the next 12 months. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. I'm sure the comments is going to be full of people saying that it's all doom and gloom. I'm a very optimistic person in general. I'm an entrepreneur, so therefore I always tend to see the bright side, the upside, the opportunity. Always there's risk. There's always risk, of course there is. But I think UK property, less supply than there is demand. Inflation's been running high, wage growth is there, property prices have gone down, add all of that together, I can't equal anything other than property prices increase, as far as I'm concerned. So guys, let me know in the comments your thoughts. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much.